сьогодні. Неймовірна сума виграшу у щасливому кутку.
Well, these are the games that have already taken place in Group B over the course of the February weekend, and there are the standings. And after those surprise results in both cases, Latvia beating Turkey, Latvia losing to Ukraine, and Sweden beating Turkey, well, Group B suddenly tightened up, no question about that, ahead of tonight's games. So the two teams about to be introduced in the Palace of Sports here. And pressure on both of these lineups, no question about that. Sweden, can they rise again after their monumental victory over Turkey in Stockholm? Ukraine, well, they've never entirely gone away, but they do have to get some work done if they're going to be sure of qualification from Group B into the second round. But let's see this Sweden team that'll still be basking in the glow of that magnificent win on Friday. Tobias Borg, very central to that victory. So too, Thomas Masamba there in picture. And we're waiting to see the hero of the hour with 16 on his back. Nicholas Spires, there he is. That's Galifors, but right behind him, Nicholas Spires. Middle of your picture there. His point scoring in the third quarter, crucial to veteran Bosnic's victory in Stockholm on Friday night, that has really changed the whole complexion of this group. 3 from 4 to qualify, as I say, and just a point separating both these teams. Here we go then with the Ukrainian team. Eugene Gita, the veteran at 34 years of age, first out. Alexander Kolchenko, Denis Lukashov, Sergei Gladio of Monaco, of course. Alexander Lipovic, who's with the Prometheus club in Greece. Bobrov, Zaitsev, expect both of those to start. And Vyacheslav Kravstov, who picks up a double-double against Latvia on Friday, playing his club basketball in Turkey. And so much from him expected on home soil. Home crowd being whipped into life. And we pause now for the national anthems.
Ваші обласки збірні Швеції. А зараз лунає державний гімн України. Виконує вокальна студія «Країна».
So the anthem's complete, and a spirited rendition of the Ukrainian national anthem in particular, raising the hearts of those inside the Palace of Sports in Kiev. These are three men who will have to keep charge of this game. Two men and one woman, I should say. Officials from Bosnia, Serbia, and also Slovenia as well. So lots to look forward to. And in particular, will Gladia and the Ukrainian team in particular be able to hold back the surge in confidence that this Sweden team will have enjoyed from that victory over Turkey? And there is the other lineup. Spires 2 minutes 10, a real impression made against the Turks. And will their inside threat be enough? Their scoring points not superb, 44% inside shooting compared to 56 of Ukraine. It looks as if they've got to deliver again. Comparing the teams, starting fives of today and on Friday, Tobias Borg gets a start. So too does Lindqvist, as Coach Bosnich rotates one or two more players in that starting five. Borg impressive with his speed. No Eriksson so far. We shall see whether he gets some game time tonight. Marcus Eriksson seemed to take some sort of blow to the wrist on Friday night. As for the Ukraine, well, Kravtsov, the distinct star on Friday night. A double-double of him, wearing 15 on his back. 2 minutes 12, the centre, backed up by Pustavy. You would think as well, even taller at 2 minutes 16. It looks as if it's going to be another battle of the boards, with Kravtsov part of that starting five alongside Jeter, Kledir, Bobrov and Koniev, the exact same starting five that began in Riga earlier in this February window. Two more games, of course, to come for both teams after this one. They come a little later in the year, the end of June, start of July. Ukraine still have to go to Turkey. Ukraine hosting Latvia. As for Sweden, well, they will have plenty of work to do themselves. Vedran Bosnich instilling one or two last instructions into their minds. From being dead and buried, they've managed to get themselves back into this group, and Yevgeny Nurzin, the Ukraine head coach, who's not someone I'd like to cross at any particular stage, judging by his demeanour right now. He's determined that Sweden will get nothing whatsoever out of their trip to Kiev. Last words from Murzin. Ukraine, of course, managed to get to the World Cup finals last time around, all of 4 years ago, but they couldn't get out of the group stage in Spain, despite a victory over Turkey, which I'm sure will give them confidence ahead of their trip to Turkey at the back end of June. Penny for the thoughts of Tobias Borg there. Masamba all smiles. Determination on the face of the young point guard. Much riding on his season right now, having just joined Gran Canaria from the 11-time Swedish champions, the Kings. He's played in Bilbao, of course, as well, so he knows what it's like to be at top-level basketball. What an occasion it was in Stockholm, but now away from their record-setting crowd in the Swedish capital. What are they going to be like on the road against a tall, physical Ukrainian team, backed up by passionate support of their own? Kravtsov against Berganda for the tip. And we're underway in Kiev, and Sweden will have the first possession, with Masamba leading the way. It's Borg with the early three-point play, and a very nicely taken as well. Real signs of confidence, smoothly done. Ukraine need to get into this game very early on if they're to subdue the Swedes. Off the rim on that particular occasion from Gladier. Did the right things early on against their Turkish opponents on Friday, Sweden, but it was in the third quarter where they really took charge, and they'll have depth off the bench, you would think, as Gladier dismisses Masamba's efforts down the line. Early on, Masamba claiming a foul, but off balance, and Gladier with the block. Early foul, though, called on Koniev. Masamba will go to the line. Thomas Masamba, born in the Congo. He's had plenty of club basketball experience outside, though, of Sweden, with Lukol in Bulgaria, Nymburk in the Czech Republic, currently playing in Switzerland, the Lions of Geneva. And there's two from the line, giving Sweden the early advantage here. Gladier then. What can he produce for Ukraine tonight? Bobrov. Here's Eugene Jeter for three. Smooth as anything, barely touched the rim. His message to Sweden and to Borg. Anything you can do. Borg. Here's Sarapovic, who was bright early on Friday. The steps fade away. Nicely taken. Jeter then. In control. Not a huge amount of movement, but open is Bobrov for the easy layup. A little more pace injected by Sweden, but it looks as if we're going to see that clash of styles already, aren't we? Sarapovic gets the screen. Over the top. Finds Baganda. He can only find the rim, though. Kravtsov with the rebound. Ukraine back in this. Down by two. Kravtsov, the put back, but he draws the foul, even though he was nowhere near the basket off the glass. And he is physically powerful, as you would expect. Well over 2 meters 10. And a first foul for Baganda. He's going to have his work cut out, you would think, but there is depth in that area. We'll see whether Eriksson gets out on court for Sweden. Kjellbom, of course. Joachim Kjellbom, one of the best players in the Swedish league, is also in the 12. Eriksson not named in the 12, but Kravtsov, 1 from 2. And Masamba for Sweden. Borg looking for the screen from Baganda. Masamba, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Borg goes down the line himself, but loses it. Turnover called. First one for, second one in fact, for Sweden. Jeter. Kravtsov, going to drive from the low post up against Baganda, but the Swedes got there very nicely. Not as smooth as Gladier, though, from three-point range. And Ukraine lead for the first time. Kravtsov already having an influence on events here. We've only played just over 3 minutes. Sarapovic trying to pick out Baganda, but again, Kravtsov with the hand in. Masamba for three. Well, it's raining trays right now. Sweden playing with ease, playing with confidence, but very much early stages here. Kravtsov waiting for it. with Bakander not moving an inch. Let's see what happens here. Oh, lost it for a moment, Kravtsov. The jumper doesn't work for him. Good rebound, though. It's put away by Koniev. One of the rare players who are still involved in Ukrainian League basketball with their clubs, many of them heading overseas, as so many do these days. Borg. Oh, that nice fake. And beautifully put away by Lindqvist. Seems like defense is an optional extra at the moment. Ukraine shooting 66% from both inside and out. Sweden haven't missed outside so far. Oh, nice pass from Gladier. And it's put away with emphasis by Bobrov. It'll be a high-scoring game on this evidence, you would think. Borg. Thought about the option for Bakander, but stayed outside with Lindqvist, and Sarapovic isn't going to get near that, but Sweden will still benefit. Good hustle from Sweden there to force the mistake. As we see the first change, but this was the wonderful pass for picking out Bobrov. Lindqvist gets himself open. Borg. No, down the lane himself. No, off it goes to Masamba for the corner and the three. Well, Ukraine can't miss right now. Three from four. Outside shooting overall. Masamba, as you can see, with two of them. Koniev. Never to be Kravtsov ahead of him, but Gladier is the main option. 4 seconds on the shot clock, and he'll draw the foul from Lindqvist. It was a right old scrap down the lane there, but a nudge from Lindqvist, and that's enough to have the foul. As Lindqvist makes way, as does Borg. Timeout called though by Ukraine, with Sweden up by 2 in these early moments of the first quarter.
Все, что не бросили, они все попали. Я говорю, закройте периметр. Вышел, здесь нет ролища ни одного.
Blue, yes. Yes, now everything. Everything blue was. Now. Yes, Simon, everybody blue now. Yes. Hey, next offense. Next offense. Idemo special for Chris. Special for Chris. Op. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Use the screen. Thomas will receive the ball. Next pick.
Well, the message clear for Ukraine. Be more aggressive in the paint. And certainly getting points already. Their advantage inside is proving evident. 6 points in the paint compared to Sweden's 2. Gladier, though, will always be a threat from three-point range. So let's see the changes for Sweden. Gada falls into the game at the expense of Lindqvist. Zaitsev is also in for Ukraine. As Gladier goes to the line. His first, no problem whatsoever. And a little wiping at the feet, but the second pretty solid as well. All tied at 15. Very even contest as that scoreline would reflect. Here's Samba for Sweden. Sarapovic finally gets open under pressure from Koniev. Back all the way out. Oh, a great fake from Gadafals is Sarapovic for three. And once again, the Ukrainian outside shooting is something to behold. They're just continuing getting open, and that's a real defensive issue right now for Coach Merzin and Ukraine. Here's Jeter. Gladier for three. Off the glass. Baganda comes away with a rebound. Look out for that strapping on the elbow of Gadafors, but Serapovic can't make 3 points this time. And Jeter straight into his arms. Oh, what is open is Koniev. It's an and one. And Ukraine asking for more and more. And finally, it's Zaitsev who delivers, and he'll go to the line as well. Zaitsev, another of those players who's on his travels in his club career, performing in the Basketball Champions League with Rosa Rodom of Poland. Samba though for Sweden, back tied at 18. It's going to be nip and tuck this one, you fancy. Borg into the game now, and Spires into the game ahead of Baganda. Borg, oh, great take, but he was just fouled by Gladier. He's yet to impose himself on this one, but there was just that enough of a touch there. Gladier with his first foul of the night. Serapovic to Masama, gets a screen from Spires. Gadafors, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Time running out. Masama's got to do it himself, and doesn't he do that well? Masamba, 4 from 4. And a turnover as well. Sweden well in this at the moment. 2 wins for them across this February window would change the whole complexion of their prospects, as Spires does ever so well to keep that in bounds. Serapovic back to him. Can Spires go from the low post? He has to float it up, and was always struggling off balance. And ever so well to get into that position. Here's Jeter for 3. Oh, magnificent! And look at the reaction too. He's pumped. So's this crowd in Kiev. We're tied at 21. Masamba. It's Gadafors checking his options. Borg, such pace, floats it up. Serapovic can't get there. And it's Koniev with the rebound. Jeter almost losing it as well. Oh, and he's got through brilliantly between 2 Swedish players. The alley-oop, though, spurned by Kravstov. A real contrast to his form in Kiev compared to that in Riga on Friday. Tied at 21. And we'll take a breather for a moment. And we're going to need it as well, because it's all action this game so far. Masamba. We see Palmblad in the game first time, but watch as Tobias Borg finds the rim from outside. Ukraine rebound. Povier is into the game too. Jeter doing it all himself and doing it brilliantly. What about the physicality to get through that blockage on the lane? Could do with him on the freeway. Masamba then. Minutes to play in the first. Palmblad watching on. And he'll try it himself for a long 2. What a terrific game this has been so far. Tied at 23. Shooting above 50% in all respects for both these teams. Wouldn't say it was the most physical of games. Lipovic. Outside shooting from Ukraine. Hasn't quite worked so far, but that's pretty special. Zaitsev showing that he can do it outside as well as inside. Three-second differential on the shot clock as ball goes all on his own, but what a block that is. That's pretty use from Postovyi. And Ukraine's chance is denied. What about this? Just denied. All of his 2 meters 10 and plenty coming in handy there, and this should be the last possession of the opener as Håkansson comes in for Masamba briefly. Jeter on his own, off the rim, and there's no time for Sweden to get any more possession. A point in it then, and these two teams have battled manfully in this opening quarter. A lot of noise inside the Palace of Sports. Home crowd being richly entertained, and look at that, those shooting stats for both teams. Sweden yet to spurn a free throw. Pujita looking in the mood, as you'd hope he would be. Coming back into the Ukraine setup after some time away. Coach Bosnich, no, I would think rather encouraged by that opening quarter. They've certainly not been outclassed, and outside shooting from Masamba, amongst others, has helped. Bobrov with a real presence inside too. Masamba almost doesn't need anybody at the moment. He do it all himself. Instructions coming thick and fast. The support there in good numbers as well. They love the basketball in Kiev, and the Ukraine national team has had relative success. Not perhaps up there with the likes of Spain or Lithuania at European level. But if they can make it to another World Cup finals, they will be very pleased indeed with that, as Håkansson stays on court. It's Ukraine to get us back underway as we resume the first half in the second period. Lipovyi. Inside it goes, and back out to Gladier for three. Well, this crowd really starting to rise to the occasion, and so too is Sergei Gladier. 29 years of age these days. Sarapovics picks out Håkansson. He won't get anything from that, as Gladier really picks the pace up now for Ukraine. What a layup that is! Lipovyi just would not be stopped. And suddenly it's a 6-point lead for Ukraine, and who saw this coming after the closely fought encounter in the opening quarter? Gadafors finally gets a route. Back it goes to Gadafors for three, off the rim, and once again it's a Sergei Gladier rebound for Ukraine. He's going to go all himself down the lane. No, there's a little pull back from Håkansson, I think. Foul certainly called, there it is. And had that been a little further up the court, that could easily have been called an unsportsmanlike, you would think. More changes being made. But still, it continues. Heron in for Zaitsev. Now on the Ukrainian side. Volodymyr Heron wearing 44 on his back. But Ukraine still keep going. Postovyi with the comfortable layup in the end. And Sweden have to call a timeout there, surely. It was pretty simple stuff. Spires nowhere near it. Maybe just switched off mentally for a couple of seconds, and time for Coach Bosnich to reset things.
Ты с 13. Все, никакой помощи. Выходим, проходим, да.
Well, who's going to get the benefit of that Friday bounce? Is it Ukraine? Who put off a terrific win and a comfortable victory in Riga, and not many teams do that, getting past Latvia by 20 points. Not many teams beat Turkey, either home or away, but certainly Sweden pulled it off in front of a record crowd of over 7,000 in Stockholm, but they're going to feel awfully lonely in comparison out here in the Ukrainian capital. Much for them to get stuck into. They trail by 8. Here's Hakanson, looking to get some sort of motion going. Serapovics, and all on its own with the layup. Eventually would have been Palmblad, but just knocked away. Back come Ukraine. Inside, the cutter comes from Heron, but Spires just does enough to get it out of bounds. Stood his ground well, under pressure, with Pistovic battling for it too. Lukashov into the game now for Ukraine. Over the top, oh, and it's blown by Pistovic. Was never really in control of the alley-oop at any stage. Serapovic, Spires, Hakanson. Sweden searching for inspiration here. Back out to the corner where Gadafals is waiting for it. Won't try even the long two, and Palmblad nearly loses the whole possession. Spires looking to go from the low post, but it's blocked. And away come Ukraine. Just no way through at the moment for Sweden defensively. Ukraine incredibly tight right now. Lukashov for three off the glass. And it's almost picked up by Pistovi, but Sweden will come away with the rebound. Gadafals, oh, the fake. And then the pass not spotted by Palmblad. Gadafals will step out. Borg and Beganda coming in for Serapovics as well. But there's nothing working at the moment for Sweden. You do wonder where their next points are going to come from right now. Heron leading off for Koniev. Koniev all the way back to Mishula, off the rim. Pistovic inevitably with a rebound, back to the corner, and it's nailed. It's just drained by Alexander Mishula, another one of the Ukraine-based players in this Ukraine team. Look at that lead now. Ukraine 11 points. Sweden yet to get a solitary point in this second quarter right now, but there's a foul called on Koniev. Uganda just standing his ground. Palmblad. Borg gets some help from Baganda, but there's no movement for him whatsoever. Serapovics, real doubt in the Swedish player's mind, but foul called. As you can tell, Ukraine with one or two fouls to give right now. Still least a couple, as Pastovi is called for that one. Baganda gets the screen to Hackanson. Might have to go himself, but floats it up. And there wasn't much conviction about that, was there? Here's Heron. Going for the low post, but inside was Pastovi. And a simple foul to give by Baganda, forcing him to the line. He was just a little late there, wasn't he? Pastovi to the line. And certainly Ukraine with the advantage at the moment inside. 12-7 in rebounds overall. Not too many turnovers, just 3 shared between the teams. But it's points in the paint that are dominating this, and also bench points as well. 14-4 in favour of Ukraine, as is 13-2 bench points. So they've got depth, and they've got greater presence inside right now, with 6 minutes remaining in the half. Ukraine up by 12. Here's Borg for Sweden. And they need to find something soon and quickly. Palmblad inside. Borg's got to finish it from there, and he doesn't. Baganda with the rebound. So much height there for Sweden to contend with, so they've got to go outside once again, and if they're cold there, they really do have problems. Palmblad off the rim. Defensive superiority here, no question, for Ukraine, as there's a foul inside there too. Looks like Serapovic has been called, judging by his reaction. Let's watch this again. Just at the top of your screen there. As we go back live, here's Lukashov. All on his own. Oh, just rolls out for him. How unlucky is that? But the officials have called an offensive foul inside, which Coach Merzin instinctively didn't like at all. Looks like it's Heron. And it is he that's been called for the foul. Serapovic for Sweden, though. Masamba back in the game, drives it up, floats it up, and watches as Baganda makes 2. First points in some time for Sweden, and the first points in this quarter, and we're right about halfway through. 5 minutes left in the half. Koniev back inside, Lipovyi, will he reach? And yes, he does. The 25-year-old causing all sorts of issues right now, perhaps even more than Kravstov, who got through a lot of work on Friday. Screen from Baganda helps Masamba pick out Borg, all but almost turned away. Baganda back outside for Serapovic. And once again, Sweden don't convince from outside. Lukashov, Pastovi. Back outside it goes. Mishula for 3. Oh, Coach Bosnich is going through agonies there on the sidelines for Sweden. The lead up to 15. And you never know if Turkey were to slip up later in Riga. Ukraine may yet be at least level on points with them at the top of the group. And as Gada falls, looks like some sort of compression thing on his arm, is back into the game, as is Bobrov for Ukraine. Lukashov called for the foul, as we see Kravstov. Good bit of work from Pastovi, though, and Pujita back in too. When you've got the bench strength that Ukraine have in relative terms, then if you're Coach Merzin, then you use it. Lukashov stepping out too as well, by the way. So to Heron. Palmblad, all back inside. Great vision to pick out Borg, and there all alone is Baganda for the dunk. Can that spark Sweden into life here? trail by 13 at the moment. And if they can, they'd love to get this to within 5 with, what, 3:30 remaining in the half. Floated up from way outside. Highly optimistic attempt at the three-point play from Mashula. Ball picks up Baganda. His Palmblade's seen plenty of game time here. Well kept in by Masamba. Did ever so well, so athletic. Palmblad with another go from outside, off the rim. He's just not found his range yet so far. Here's Pujita. Well, he's been doing that for years and years and years, since his days with the Kings in the NBA. 34 years young. Yet another fade away from mid-range for him. Palmblad, on the other hand, with both three-point attempts so far. He's shooting 1 from 4. Here's Masamba. Into the corner it goes. Palmblad, can he get hot here? No, off the rim once again. 1 from 5 now. But Sweden with the rebound. Masamba, the screen from Baganda. He's almost lost it. Sweeping up the floor and picking up the ball. With 3 seconds on the shot clock. Sweden may yet have time to pull off something, but no way he's going to let that out of his clutches. Almost like he'd got a Ming vase for Christmas. Gladier back into the game. Not too many minutes on the court for him so far. 11:33 played. So, what's the play going to be here for Ukraine? Oh, there might be an opportunity. Oh, that's almost something pretty special from Serafovic, who's back in the game for Palmblad. And there Ukraine go end-to-end, downtown. And Bobrov finishes off the dunk with aplomb. They're waiting for it underneath the basket. Great vision to pick him out. Sweden just not alert to the danger there. And is that a momentum shifter too? Timeout called. And Sweden also, I think, picking up a foul too. They've certainly called the timeout anyway.
We must back in defense. You can miss shot open, no problem. Let's go back in defense. 30 points for 10 minutes. Just running. Hey, listen now. I'm on motion side. Motion side.
Защитник! Ребят, молодцы, еще продолжаем! Продолжаем бороться! Шараповича не бросаем! 13! И бежать! Бежать, бежать, нападение!
Well, if it's cold where you are, it can't be much colder than Sweden right now, as you saw on the screen. 2 from 13 shooting in this second quarter. Whatever they do, the Pistovyi has been there to block them out. They've just not been consistent when they've got open. It will change at some stage, but will it be too late? Baganda, though, with a dunk he and the rest of his teammates will have relished. So Bobrov for the and one. Doesn't take advantage. It's a Swedish rebound with Pujita and Masamba getting stuck into each other as well. Gadafors almost collided with Masamba there. Back out to the corner. Gadafors goes on his own, keeps it in bounds. Serapovic, Borg to Berkanda. Got a count from there. Can't go through all this hard work, Sweden, without profiting at the end. It's all Ukraine right now. Pujita. Kravstov. Well, you know what normally happens from here. Baganda has no answer to that. Sheer force of will putting Kravstov in. 22 points, 13 rebounds against Latvia. And tonight, well, he's only picked up 3 so far. Borg all the way out. Gadafors with time to set and time to deliver. 16-point the deficit though. And it's going to need a half-time conversation of epic proportions for Sweden to get back in this right now. Something has clearly got to change. Over the top to Kravstov, can he gather it? No, he's fouled by Bagander. See who that is called on. Already up against it, it could have been called on ball. Bagander with 2 fouls to his name. And he's now got that one. So 3 fouls already for Bagander. Another problem for Coach Bosnich to address. And his assistants, Adnan Chuk and Kevin Gaines. Kravstov may have been quiet in this first half. He's seen a massive amount of game time, actually. There's both there. Kravstov, 11:39 played so far. Here's Ganafals for Sweden. Serapovics, Borg, quick steps. Gets it back to Masamba. He aspires to have a go. He's on for Bakander, of course, and the hook shot doesn't work out. This should be the last possession then. Jeter's not going to be rushed here, surely. Look at those shooting stats. 3 from 16 Sweden in this second quarter. Jeter back inside. Oh, and it's just drained by Bobrov. Ukraine dominating this second quarter, and despite Sweden's best efforts, they have been second best by distance here. Down by 19, Ukraine with the presence inside. The likes of Lipovyi and also Kravstov giving them issues. Bagander already with 3 fouls, but the outside shooting has been pretty special. 57% there, Ukraine, from beyond the arc. Rebounds, no, not that much difference now, but early on, Ukraine did have an advantage in that respect, and the number of blocks shows that too. Sweden under all sorts of pressure. And again, really, they need to win if they're to keep the momentum going from Friday night's heroics in Stockholm. Jeter getting on the money early on from outside. Masamba, well, it looked good from Sweden's point of view, but that stage too. That was nice from Lindqvist, introduced into the starting 5 in the absence of Marcus Eriksson, who is out with a wrist injury. Serapovics all the way back outside to Ganafals, and then he gets it back. A well-drilled machine, this Swedish outfit, but they've been spluttering for most of the second quarter. And it's difficult to see an area of the game where they've shown promise. Samba is possibly the exception to that. He's made 11 points so far. Jeter, what about that? Beautiful layup. And off balance too. Zaitsev has had his moments both inside and out as well. Put him in the bracket of huge, rangy Ukraine players. Have never allowed Sweden to settle in the lane at all. At a rare moment of joy for Bagander inside. Spires, well, he's just done nothing really tonight. No points contributed, just 1 defensive rebound. Don't underestimate the outside threat that Ukraine have had, allowing Pistogi and occasionally Bobrov will draw the foul for the and-1. And there he can show he can do it from outside as well. Vyacheslav Bobrov.
Ряд четвертий. Ряд четвертий, де ви? Місце
G2, all 34 years of age of him. Angelino has been a constant threat for Sweden to deal with. So those are the key moments of the half. And Sweden certainly with big issues to address early in this second half. Later on today, by the way, the other game in Group B takes place. That's between Latvia and Turkey. They're already underway there, in fact, in the early part of the first quarter. In fact, 2:52 to play in the first quarter. Turkey leading Latvia by 16 points to 10. So if that takes shape, that will mean that Turkey and Ukraine will be in control of Group B, with 3 teams to qualify for the second round. It could well be a straight shootout between Sweden and Latvia to get through to next season's qualification round. And these teams will combine with another of the groups in European qualifying, and then play those teams in the other group, home and away. 6 games to come for everybody in this process that will send teams out to the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019 in China in around about 18 months' time. Certainly on this evidence, Ukraine looking good on their home court. You rather think they'll have the stronger hearts going into the second half with an awful lot of momentum behind them. Should say, incidentally, the games to come for these 2 teams. You'll see Ukraine go to Turkey and then host Latvia in the final game, with Sweden hosting Latvia and then going to Turkey. Back soon for the second half.
Це було дуже близько. Ти готова? Ну що, голосніше підтримуємо! Куди? Ну нічого, це було круто! Як мінімум ти побувала у центрі усієї сьогоднішньої баталії та гри. Так, давай, тебе... Є, це твій квиток. Кільце, ти, центр майданчику, 100 тисяч, давай. Ну, ось тут я хотів би, щоб батьки над цим подумали. Давай. Давай 5, давай. Це було круто. Ти спробував. Постривай. Ну що, дивись, ти там комусь посміхалась. Ти остання, хто може відібрати у кота цю табличку. Або заберу її я. Давайте підтримаємо! 100 тисяч гривень! Дякую тобі. Дякую, бо наступна сума буде ще більша. Ще один є. Я розумію, повинен, не плач. Давайте підтримаємо. Як тебе звуть? Слава. Давайте Славу підтримаємо! Давай, Слава. Слава, стій! Стій! Так не по правилам. Дивись, ось звідсіля треба кидати. Ти як? Що будемо робити зі Славою? Слава, підтримаємо Славу! І це був дуже влучний кидок. Давай, 5, це було круто. Дякую тобі. Ну що, дякую нашому коту. 100 тисяч. У нас залишається, дай м'яч. Я хоч і не кидав дуже давно, але я спробую. Тримай мікрофона. Я хочу забрати їх. запрошую всіх на наступну гру, де буде вже інша сума. Ну а 100 тисяч залишається. Залишається в нас, ну а вже наша збірна на майданчику. Друзі, ну а також чого не вистачає сьогодні у нас на майданчику, це кохання та поцілунків. Тому зараз у нас є дуже добра традиція, це гра у кіскем. Ми вибираємо пару і вона починає смачно цілуватись. Давай! Ні, смачно, це няшно. Ось так! Дайте нам! Нещодавно було 14 лютого. Давайте, покажіть своє кохання. Так, хлопець не дуже серйозний. Подивися, яка. Ваші обласки, перша пара. Хлопець, так, привіт. Так, перша пара була, зайшла. Шукаємо другу пару. Давай. Давай, бігом. Ще. Так, ваші обласки, пара номер 2. Так, продовжуємо шукати пару. Третя пара, давай, там хтось рядом сидить. Так, ну і ще, остання пара, остання. Давайте далі камеру, остання, ось вона. Ви зустрічаєте, да, дорогесенька, іди до мене. Оу. Ваші облиски! Ну, зараз давайте зробимо ще раз такий коло по счету. Перша пара облиски. Чую, перша пара облиски. Треба ж знайти переможця. Так, друга пара, де в нас була? Друга пара облиски. Ти чуєш облиски, так? Котику. Давайте третю пару нам. Третя пара облиски. Четверта пара облиски. Склалось враження, що пара номер 1 виграла, так? Так чи ні? Котику, іди до пари номер 1. Де ви? Встаньте, де ви? Де ви, пара номер 1? А ну відійдіться. Ось, я бачу вас. А тепер встаньте і вийдіть. Я шуткую. Давай, де наш кот? Він же йде і несе вам серце. Продовжуємо. Максимум любові на майданчику. Максимум любові кожен до кожного. Ну а ми продовжуємо. До гри ще трошечки часу. Ми попереду. І це завдяки нашій збірній та нашим трибунам. Палац спорту. До речі, сьогодні у Палаці спорту 6,5 тисяч вболівальників. Це дуже круто. Це понеділок, друзі. Ось загадку баскетболу. Многі завдяки вашій підтримці, завдяки тому шуму, тому голосу, який ви робите, збірна Україна в другій чверті перемогла за рахунком 25-7.
Moments away from the second half in Kiev then of this FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifier for 2019. Ukraine hosting Sweden. And Ukraine very much on top, in particular after a dominant second quarter, which they won by 25-7 overall. They lead 51-32. So much presence inside, as you would expect with such height. But their outside shooting has been a real thorn in the side of Sweden, who are coming off a fantastic victory on Friday. They just haven't been able to produce it. Should also say that Ukraine coming off a pretty useful win themselves in Riga. So can Ukraine not just hold on to this lead, but extend it and give themselves a real shot? Because whilst they're looking good for a place in the second round of qualification, if they want to repeat their performance of 5 years ago when they made it to the finals in Spain, they're going to have to bear in mind that they'll take all of their points with them into the second round phase, and the teams from Group B will join in with the teams from Group A. And if I tell you that Group A includes Spain, the current European, Spain, the current European champions in Slovenia, and Montenegro too, with those three teams ahead of Belarus, there are some very, very high quality teams in Group A. So with only 3 teams to qualify from 8, if you like, and get to China in 2019, every single win matters. There's no such thing as a dead game. And whoever qualifies in 3rd spot, incidentally, are likely to host Spain in their first game in the second phase, and that comes on September the 14th. Well, Sweden ready to go, suitably chastised, you'd imagine, from the locker room talk of Vedran Bosnic. Certainly pretty clear who's starting. Masamba, Hakansen. No surprise, Borg from the looks of things. Pistovi is going to come back out, and that's interesting. Joachim Kjellbo on the court for Sweden. One of their most highly rated players, but now 38 years young, well over 2 meters and 10. He's on there along with Serepovic, Gadafors, Hakansen and Masamba, as you saw. But Ukraine get things going with Pistovi from way back. A long 2 for them. And they now lead by 19. Serepovic looking to get Sweden back into this. Here's Hakansen for 3 off the rim. And Sweden's woes continue from long range. Ukraine with Bobrov, Gladier, Gita, Lipovyi and Pistovi. Here is Pistovi. Finds Pujita. Hakansen battling well to stay in it. Gita inside. Pistovi with the dunk. And that's been the story of the first half. Threat outside from Ukraine, but so much power inside. And they've dominated Sweden. And look at the margin now. Serepovic back outside. Gadafors finds Masamba. Again, Sweden looking for inspiration. Masamba thinks about the long 2, but comes off the ankle of Pistovi. What can Sweden pull off from here? It'll be some comeback. It'll beat anything they did against Turkey on Friday. Hakansen. Serepovic loses it, but picked up in the end by Hakansen, who does brilliantly ahead of Gladier, but shot clock violation. And we saw that at least 3 or 4 times on Friday. And clearly Ukraine have done the video analysis. And they've been frustrating Sweden throughout this contest, particularly in the second quarter now, from the looks of things. Early on in the second half too. It's Bosnic, a lot less confident than he was. A lot more concern on his face. Floated up by Gita. Pistovi is in there too, so too. Here's Bobrov. Gladier, but gets it back outside, off the rim. And Sweden breathe again. And there's a foul there on Gladier as well. Serepovic then back to Masamba. His second foul. You're going to need more than that to get him in trouble here. And Ukraine. Hakanson, the fake. And then to Masamba. All the way back outside. Ganafors opts to go inside again. Masamba, nobody wanted to take responsibility. Masamba, shot clock violation, even if it's not a backcourt violation. Sweden running out of ideas here right now. And maybe, just maybe, so much energy was expended on Friday night. Perhaps they're just struggling to raise the levels here. It would be no crime if they did. As Spires comes in for Kjellbom. Jeter. Ukraine very much in control, but that's nice from Masamba. Takes on Jeter, lays it up, and has stayed down. Foul called, I think, on Gladier, and that would be his third foul if it is. But it's almost certainly on Jeter. Heavy falls there, but Masamba's ready to go again. Free throw shooting for Sweden, not a problem so far. They've yet to miss one. Four from four becomes 5 from 5. They need something soon. Here's Lipovic. Gladier. An awful lot of movement up ahead for Lipovic to pick out, but somehow it's like a volleyball game out there. So many pats of the ball. Who's going to call spike? It'll be Sweden ball. Masamba. Look at those shooting stats. 12 from 32 and backcourt violation. Hakanson forced to take it over the halfway by Gladier. We'll watch it again. Oh, that's just taken his eye off it, hasn't it? Not the greatest pass from Masamba. And there's a calm, reassuring confidence about the noise inside Kiev right now. Gladier. Going to go all himself down the lane, lays it up. Can't finish the job off, but the rebound there. Pustovic got a hand to it, but it wasn't enough. Gadafors. Drive it up himself. He's double teamed for the moment, and it's stolen pretty easily, I have to say, from Lipovic. It remains Ukraine ball, even though Thomas Masamba is incredulous. I was thinking he wants to beg. Well, he thought there was a bit of a trip there. Jeter for Ukraine. Masamba certainly getting physical there. Not allowing him any space whatsoever. Gladier. Floats it over the top. Palm back by Pustovic, but into the hands of Sweden. Here's Masamba on his own, back outside. Gadafors, Hakanson, who's going to take it? Serapovic finds the mid-range two. Now, can they build something from here? Jeter for Ukraine. Bobrov floats it up from downtown. Rolls out, unfortunately for him. Vedric Bosnic knows this is key now for his team. Gadafors, Hakanson. Looking for a way through to unpick the lock. Serapovic open for a moment, but Gladier got onto him eventually. Hakanson, only one winner in that contest between him and Vyacheslav Bobrov. Timeout called. It's called by Ukraine, but I don't think Sweden will mind the moment to reassess and see where they go from here.
We play one on one. And the long one. Play play together. Teamwork. In offense, teamwork. Мы не агрессивно, мы не играем, мы точечки, точечки, точечки. Или лайапы. Все. Работаем, ребята. Работаем в защите. Агрессивно, у них ни одного фола. Потому что мы...
Stay with them there. I'm on next offense. Idemo, one long, tome. Ajde.
Ваші обласки, олімпійська підтримка Forces!
Well, it's been a pretty low-scoring third quarter. 4 points apiece so far. So Ukraine entirely surging in front, but Ukraine's certainly holding on to the advantage they picked up on the first half. Sweden not able to make inroads just yet, but still time on that margin. 19 points. Jeter for Ukraine. With Bobrov, Dadir, Koniev and Kravstov on the court for him. We'll find Bobrov. Here's Gladir. Kravstov at the low post. 4 seconds on the shot clock. All the way out to Jeter from the corner. Never looked like training his three-point play, but there is a foul there. And it looks like it's been called on Serapovics. Borg into the game ahead of Hakansson, by the way. Sweden with Serapovics, Gadefors and Samba and Spires now. Back out from Bobrov, but that's great defense from Sweden. Not making it easy for Bobrov and Kravstov there. Serapovics, though, with a third foul. Borg, just a nudge there from Kravstov, I think it was. There's a knowing smile on his face there. Just a little hand, that's enough these days. Samba will find Spires and get it straight back himself. Gladir battling for it there, which leaves Gadefors open for three off the rim. Oh, that was a very nervy three-point play. Spires, though, with the rebound. Serapovics. Is he going to put it up? He's going to float it up. And that gets the gap down slightly. But they need more strong defense and more positive offense, just like that. Here's Pujita. Inside to Bobrov, all the way out. And here is Koniev to Kravstov. Saw a bit of space and draws the foul from Gadefors. Remember that Bergander is on 3 fouls. So they've got to bear that in mind, Ukraine. Serapovics on 3-2. That's Gadefors and his first. Kravstov going to the line. Rather quiet night for him so far. As Jeter comes out of the game with Lukashov, as you can see to the left of your picture there, in for him. Coach Mersin a little anxious there, but he doesn't have a huge amount to be concerned about. The latest from Riga, incidentally, they're deep into the second quarter there, and Turkey still lead 29-20, 2:51 to play in the half. Low-scoring game there. Here's Masamba for Sweden. Serapovics, Borg. Goes down the lane himself, tries to float it up towards Spires. And he's gone over on his ankle as well. Ukraine making the double change as well. We're going to see Zaitsev and Mishula come in, but there's concern for Tobias Borg for the moment. Ukraine ball there. Borg still continuing, which is encouraging to see. Who's going to provide the spark for the away team here. Lukashov to Kravstov, who has a moment, draws the foul. Could have been Spires, could have been Masamba. And whilst he's not necessarily producing many points, he is certainly the target of Ukraine's defense right now. And he'll go to the line for two. Certainly the depth counting. If you go back to the first half, Ukraine with G to 10 points, Bobrov 9, Gladier 8, Zaitsev and Mishula 6 each, and another rebound there too. Says something when Kravstov can barely get in the box score at the moment. Kravstov spinning, turning, and again drawing the foul. Spires, I think, has been called this time. Remember, a win tonight gets Ukraine into the second round. As long as Turkey win as well. Every game really does matter. And remind you that all the results are carried forward to the second qualifying round, when these two teams, and if they both make it, will play the likes of Spain, Slovenia, and you would think either Montenegro or Belarus. 1 from 2 from the line, and it always helps to have a heavy presence. There's the mayor of Kiev, Mr. Klitschko, watching and enjoying life from the boxes without taking the punches himself these days. Borg for Sweden. Gadafors for 3, off the rim. Rebound Ukraine. Lukashov does all the hard work himself. And back inside it goes, where Gadafors stole it away. And the foul called on Kravstov on that occasion. You can imagine the Klitschko brothers would have been handy power forwards in their day. Wouldn't have fancied taking them on in the lane. Serapovic does well to keep the ball, if not his feet. Gadafors will use the space on his own, but he can't find the dunk. Doesn't that sum up Sweden's night? Lukashov floats it all the way over to the corner, where Mishula is waiting. Off the rim, Kravstov makes room, and the simple layup in the end. It's all rather controlled at the moment from Ukraine. Very much in third gear. And they're not being overly extended here by Sweden right now, but there's still time. Serapovic goes himself. Spires. Back to Gadafors. Here's Serapovic in the corner. Sweden need these to drop. What a contrast over the course of a weekend day. Shooting not great from either team here. Can Kravstov improve it? No. Hustled out of it. And Serapovic comes away. Just 15 points scored, but there's another 2. That's nice from Spires. And maybe that might do something with the and 1 for Sweden. Zaitsev, the man called for the foul, as we see Martin Pastovi come into the game, presumably at the expense of Kravstov. Spires makes the extra. That lead for Ukraine still at 19 as Baganda steps back in. Lindqvist also in for Gadafors. Not quite such a hero's night for Spires as it was in this third quarter on Friday. Mishula. Zaitsev. Lukashov for a long 2 off the rim. I've got to feel that Sweden not necessarily taking a step back from Friday night, because Obviously playing on the road is so different to when you're enjoying the luxuries of home. But if they are going to take a step forward, then they need to stay competitive in this one. Trailing by the 19, Masamba with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Off balance, finds the rim. Great hustle from Borg to allow Masamba to step back in. Serapovic from the corner, off the rim once more, and eventually it drops. Eventually. The deficit down to 16, which is smaller than it has been recently. This should be the last possession of the quarter, though. Oh, offensive foul called in the lane, I think it was. It was Pustovyi. And if Ukraine can just get something from this possession, cut that gap back to maybe 14 or even 13, still room for optimism there. Second foul then on Pustovyi, as you can see. Masamba finds Tobias Borg. 5 seconds remaining. Oh, has to, in the end, get it to Baganda, who's going to put it up. No, too late again. Sweden have got to be smoother in those situations. You wonder how many times Coach Bosnich has been drilling that into his players over the last couple of days. But no matter, because Sweden just about hanging on there. They trail by 16. Ukraine 60, Sweden 44. Well, those shooting stats have certainly taken a bit of a dent after that third quarter. Just 21 points in the end scored by both teams. Defense is very much on top, unlike the first half. But Pustovyi, with his physical inside presence, has been on the end of at least a couple of those possessions. And Masamba leading the way, game high 13 points, but whereas Serapovic has 12, there's only Borg, the next scorer, on 5. But then you look at Ukraine's box score, and it's G to 10, 9 for Pustovyi, 9 for Bobrov, 8 for Gladir, 8 for Kraustov 2. There's just so much depth about this Ukraine team. Perhaps no Fosenko in the lineup, but there's certainly much to enjoy about the 12 players who have suited up for this one. As we see Palmblad back into the equation for Sweden. Zaitsev is staying out there too. And Sweden start the final quarter, trailing by the 16. Need an early run here, you would think, as Palmblad gets the screen off Baganda. All the way back outside to Tobias Borg, and he'll draw the foul. Lukashov watching on as Mishula is drawn for the foul. Baganda, Borg, Lindqvist, Masamba, Palmblad on the court for Sweden. Gisa, Lepovic, Mishula, Pustovyi and Zaitsev. So much height there for Ukraine. So Palmblad goes outside, air ball in the end, well recovered by Baganda. Can Lindqvist have a go? Yes, he can, but he'll only find the rim. And away comes Pujita for Ukraine. Outside shooting just not enough for Sweden, but that might help as Masamba draws the foul from Jita. It was Zaitsev with a block that you'd see most often from a bouncer outside your favourite club of choice on a Friday night. Fair few turnovers in this game. Mr. Tobias Borg lays it up. Baganda claims it, but there was a little nudge in there on Borg, I think. And Mishula thinks he's been called for the foul. No points to either team so far in this quarter. Mashula is called for the foul. Masamba, all the way back out to ball, backcourt violation. And that's all pretty messy. Masamba not impressed whatsoever. Lipovic will set things off here. As much as the Tano announcer wants to do it all himself. Jeter, almost stolen away by Masamba. Zaitsev. Zaitsev for a long two. Beautiful. Three-point play, in fact. As long as Ukraine just drain one or two of those, they should be fine from here. 9 points now to Zaitsev. Here's Lindqvist. Oh, great fake. Gets Zaitsev completely out of the game, but a poor pass. The officials, though, have spotted a foul in there too. Yep, it was Lipovic. Legander still feeling the effects of that one, even though he looks like your innocent choir boy. Masamba, oh, it's blocked away by Lipovic, and Ukraine will keep going, although Jeter takes one in the chops. Foul called on Lindqvist. Masamba will take a breather, and Håkansson is back into the game, and he's had his moments in the Basketball Champions League this season with Movistar Estudiantes. Coach Bosnich not exactly resigned to his fate yet. Jeter, oh, sees the space, tries to lay it up, but draws the foul in the end from Tobias Borg. Just got there. Legander picks up his fourth. Well, he stay out there. And Jeter to the line for two. It's been an area where Sweden have definitely had the advantage. Yet to miss a free throw, which is as it should be pretty much every game, shouldn't it? That's what the coaches tell you. Ukraine only averaging just over 52%, 9 from 17 right now. Make that 9 from 18, so exactly 50%. And here's Håkansson for Sweden. Jeter, though, with 11 points. Borg trying to do it all himself, as he's often wont to do. Back inside, and nobody could read what he was doing. Lindqvist certainly unable to get on the hand of the cutter there. Sweden going backwards when they really need to be asserting themselves in this. Almost cut out by Borg. Jeter trying to pick out Lipovic there. Crane looking to just ramp the points up and complete the double over Sweden, having won that in Norrköping in the November window. Well, that's a good hustle from Sweden. Coach Bosnich will like that, such a histrionic act on the sidelines. That's worked out well for Sweden in the end, though. Here's Palmblad for three off the side of the rim, and away come Ukraine. Chance of the fast break. Mashula gets it back to Jeter. Still time on their side as well. Oh, brilliantly done. Zaitsev with barely a care in the world as he made his way to the glass for the layup. When Ukraine play this well, it's no wonder that they've been regulars at Eurobasket. And obviously their presence felt at the FIBA World Cup finals in 2014 too. Went to the quarterfinals of Eurobasket a year previous, as well as Jeter tries to take the responsibility himself, and is fouled by Lindqvist for his troubles. Ukraine made it to the quarterfinals back in Slovenia in FIBA Eurobasket 2013 when they lost out to Croatia. So they have had their moments of getting to the very top of European basketball, but they're going to have a very, very difficult act to qualify for China in 18 months' time. Sweden timeout, though.
Let's respect every ball, safety. Contact, respect every ball, running, selection of the shot. Hey, selection of the shot. Don't give up now. Don't go down, we talk about that. No problem. Minus 20. Part of the game, but you keep hands up.
Четыре фола. Играем, думаем, глупые фолы, ребят.
Well, the Red Foxes certainly entertaining the crowd in Kiev, and so too are these Ukraine players. Sweden with all the questions to answer. The remaining 6 minutes and 52 seconds. Ukraine in real control of this one. And Turkey in control against Latvia in Riga. Half-time there. And Turkey leading by 4 points, 36-32. Ali Mohammed with 16 points, 10 rebounds already for Oldemir. Just 7 points on the Latvian side for Yanis Blums. And Turkey win that, and Ukraine win here, and then both those teams through to that second round. But those June-July games, all important. Remember, all the results taken through to the second round phase. Here's Borg for Sweden. Stepping this way and that with Kravtsov for company, but Borg draws the foul and gets the bucket too. And he's such a live wire. You can see him sustaining the hopes of most teams. That's why he's now playing his basketball in Spain for his club, Gran Canaria. As Jeter comes back in. Spires and Palmblad back in the game for Sweden. Lindqvist and Baganda step out. Shot selection very much right there according to the coach's instructions. Here's Gladier for Ukraine. Kravtsov back to Gladier. Zaitsev open. Jeter. Kravtsov. Can he get the ball back? That's a Gladier from way back. That's astonishing. And just a little nod of despair almost from Coach Bosnich for Sweden. Ukraine up by 24 now. 6 minutes to play. How many points can they rack up? How many points can Sweden earn to get back into this as Borg draws a foul from Kravtsov? I really wouldn't mess with him. Any quiet, calm suggestion from him could be taken as a threat. Borg to the line for two then. Important to remember that Kravtsov very much a bit part player in this one. 8 points, 5 rebounds. 11 now to Gladier. Jeter's got 11 too. Zaitsev 13 and 4 rebounds too. Bobrov even with 9 points as well. Bastovi has certainly had his minutes too. Well, as Borg just had a little recurrence of that ankle problem. Change is made. And in steps Lindstrom. With number 7 on his back for Tobias Borg. And that may be rather sensible with games to come. Oh, back inside. Kravtsov will enjoy that. 10 points for the big man. Sweden completely cut asunder. Håkansson back out to Lindström for three. Off the rim, and Kravstov eventually picks up the rebound. Jeter going to go all himself down the other lane. No, back to Gladier outside. He's waiting for it. And Kravstov battling away. Jeter picks up eventually the rebound. Will feed Kravstov again. Oh, but it's straight out of bounds under pressure from Spires, who I think might have taken a blow to the wrist there. Heron back into this one. So Kravstov was playing a bit part. 10 rebounds, 10.6 rebounds is allowed a bit part status now. Inside the final 5 minutes. And Ukraine looking good for the second round. Håkansson. Oh, blocked. Gladier getting in there. Jeter comes away with it. Oh, Jeter gets away from Lindström beautifully. Heron. So right old scrap there with Serapovic. But it's stolen by Lindström, and he should go all himself. Nothing Gladier can do about that. And 2 points to Sweden just stems the bleeding a little as the two teams go for a breather. Timeout called Ukraine.
Наверх, иди туда, подними заслон наверх, выпусти полевого кого-то. Сюда заслон, обратно, пусть он играет один. Следующий момент, если с пятым играет сваливание, этот игрок врезается, этот поднимается. Результат передачи.
If nothing happens, all right? With a good skills, you go back if you don't have the pass on the rim. Heidi, let's go.
The Red Foxes, you'll have seen them many a time at FIBA tournaments down the years, as entertaining as ever. And so too have been Ukraine. Zaitsev leading the scorers at the moment, along with Masamba for Sweden on 13. But it's been a real team effort. As proved by their Jeter picking out Kravstov. Ramsted into the game for Sweden now. Spires out. Jeter. Heron. Drives it up the lane himself. Layup off the rim. And away comes Palmstead. Håkansson. First look there at Serapovic in a while. Håkansson, all back inside. Ramsted has to find Serapovic again. Mid-range two off the rim. Kravstov has the rebound. I don't think I've seen Coach Murzin smile at any stage. His team up by 22. Jeter only finding the rim. He's been so good at his hustling around the rebound, so determined. He'll have another pop as well. Håkansson with the rebound for Sweden. Palmstad goes for three. Sweden have needed that a little bit earlier, in truth, but they'll take it nonetheless. Palmstad with now 5 points, 32% shooting from downtown, just not good enough as it goes out of bounds off Lindström. As we see more changes being made, Alexander Kolchenko coming in. And from Chikaski, Mavpete. And they have produced the odd bit of talent down the years. For Senko, of course, on the 76ers, and not so long ago. Sviatoslav Mihailuk to the University of Kansas. Oh, Heron had the Red Sea part for him there, didn't he? Just an open basket. Kolchenko in, incidentally, Mashula in, Lukashov in. So Heron, Kolchenko, Kravtsov, Lukashov and Mashula on the court for Ukraine. Here's Hakanson all on his own, lays it up. Cut to 17. But we're approaching the 2-minute marker now. Hakanson's first points. That'll be a disappointment for him as Kolchenko makes his introduction to the game. Hakanson trying his luck once again. 2 from 2 now. As we see Ukraine make the change once again. And Pustovnik comes on. Been a thoroughly efficient performance from Coach Merzin's charges. Lindqvist into the game for Sweden, by the way, at the expense of Serapovic. And Palmblad called for the foul there. And Heron set off Lukashov. Pustovnik. Ukraine, well, body's going to ground. It's Lindstrom who falls to the court, and it's an offensive foul. Heron turning the ball over and call for an offensive foul. There it is. Well, in certain countries around the world, that could be deemed as assault. Hakanson for Sweden, looking to get some pride back into the scoreline, if nothing else. Palmstad for 3 off the rim, and Pustovnik with the rebound. Lukashov. Heron. Lukashov once more. Lindstrom right in his face. Now it's the turn of Lindqvist. Back inside though, and Heron makes sure the comfortable layup. Long distance. Works out nicely for Ukraine. A quick break from Ukraine. Doesn't end up in points on that occasion. Hakanson has suddenly got hot when the pressure is off. Oh, that's a nice layup. Wonderful move to get past Kolchenko. Gap down to 14. But sadly for Sweden, only 40 seconds remaining now. Lukashov. Time being eaten out with 6 seconds on the clock. Back to Heron. Floats it up. Sweden with the rebound. Last chance for Sweden to reduce the deficit. Hakanson. He's got a little hot now. 9 points. Is he going to find double digits before the end of this game? He's going to have to try and do it himself. No. Palmblad will have a go. Nails the 3. And that will be that. And Ukraine have won. Ukraine win it and book their place in the second qualification round for FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019. They win it by 11, and they've looked very solid indeed against a fired-up Sweden team. Fresh from a shock victory over Turkey, but they couldn't make lightning strike twice. A terrific team performance, led by Zaitsev, Jeter, and in the latter stages, Kravtsov too. But it's Ukraine with the win, and they'll be looking forward to taking on the likes of Spain and Slovenia in the second qualification round next season. Handshakes all round. High and low fives too. But that is a step backwards for Sweden. Not so for these Ukrainian players. This crowd will head out into the winter cold in Kiev. Very content with life indeed. Inside presence, strong. Outside shooting, even stronger. And everyone from Ukraine very happy indeed at the night's proceedings. Less so Håkansson and Sweden, who just couldn't build it from Friday night's heroics.
Ну що, хлопці пішли до трибун. Давайте усі разом!
And even though you can't dismiss a victory against a top basketball nation like Turkey, it was at home, it was in front of a record crowd in Stockholm, coming to Ukraine and playing them in a qualifier in Kiev. In fact, anywhere in Eastern Europe, you're going to find it difficult as an emerging basketball nation. Well, who knows what might happen, though, in the remainder of Group B games. Ukraine have to go to Turkey next on June the 28th. Latvia have to go to Kiev on Sunday the 1st of July. As for Sweden, well, they have it in reverse. As we see the top scorers, Zaitsev, Masamba for both teams. Sweden, well, they have to host Latvia on June the 28th, and then on July the 1st they travel to Turkey. And it looks as if now Sweden and Latvia, that game on June the 28th may well be a decider, assuming that Turkey can pull off the win over Latvia in Riga. And that game on as we speak. Midway through third quarter, Turkey up by a point, 42-41. But Ukraine sitting pretty on the top of Group B for now. And these some of the key moments of the game. Jita, Pustovi, he had a good night at centre for Ukraine. Pustovi, 9 points, 3 rebounds. Plenty of commitment from Sweden throughout the night. Look at that from Spires, keeping Kravtsov quiet. Serapovics leading the way with a nice floater from mid-range. Kravtsov, though, couldn't be kept out entirely. 10.7 rebounds for him. Part of a very fine team performance. 11 apiece for Kadir and Jita, 13 to Zaitsev. That extra depth that Ukraine had, proving crucial in the end. Kolchenko with a late introduction. And a fine finish from near the corner. Jita inside to Pustovi. And it makes you wonder what Ukraine might be able to do later in this group. And they're certainly through. But would they relish a trip to Spain and Slovenia? Who wouldn't want to take Spain, a multi-European champion, of course, familiar contender at World Cup and World Championships past, and also the current European champions, that's Slovenia. They promise to be a lively group next season when groups A and B combine. And remember, only 3 teams will qualify. Certainly Montenegro or Belarus, whoever qualifies with Spain and Slovenia will prove a test. So too will Ukraine, Turkey, and whoever gets the spot now, likely between Latvia and Turkey. Those are the key moments. Been a lovely atmosphere inside Kiev and a good home win, sending the home fans happy. Hope you've enjoyed it as well. And you leave us with Ukraine sitting top of Group B and very content with life. From Result and myself, Chris Edgerton, we'll bid you farewell. Rejoin us soon for the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers.